Hey guys, this is Dirty Donut. We're here with another video. This one talking about Black Clover. I told you guys in my last video that I would be doing another Black Clover one, so here it is. Where we left off last time, had just done his last mission, which he also got a star for, by the way. And if you guys don't remember what the star is for, if you haven't seen my last videos or watched the show, the stars are for a squad's reputation. The more stars you have, the better the squad you are. Uh, Moving on from there, we do have the Black Bulls, and they do have negative 50 stars. They're the only squad that they have that has negative stars. So, moving on, Asta gets another mission from the Wizard King himself, and I said this before, I'm gonna say it again. I love Julius Novachrono. Like the time magic itself has always been like one of my favorite types of magic. If you had to really pick a power. Moving on from there though, he sends both the Black Bulls and the Golden Dawn to a dungeon that popped up on the diamond border. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I will throw up a map so you understand. So he sends them to a dungeon on the Diamond Kingdom border, and after that they enter it, of course, but there's also Diamond Kingdom mages that enter as well. Now the people that are on the Black Bull side are Asta, Noel, and Luck, and the Golden Dawn side are Mimosa, and Klaus, like we discussed before. Now, going back to what I was saying before, I'm very excited for the movie, the Sword of the Wizard King, I'm pretty sure is what it's called. I'm very, very excited. It's one of my favorite shows ever is Black Clover, and when they were canceled, I was actually hurt. So when they're saying that they're coming out with, or wasn't canceled, they were more like, shutting down the production. At least that's what I heard at first. And for a long time, like, you didn't see anything after the 170 episode. So when I heard they were coming out with a movie, I was very excited, but I'm also kind of scared because, as you know, some of these movies aren't really the best thing. Uh, you'll see it in multiple different series that like My Hero Academia has one, a couple actually, and there's a few like what was it? The Time I Was Reincarnated as a Slime. That one also had a movie of its own, which I also am gonna do a review on. So keep tuned for that because I really did like that movie, and I think I should discuss it. Moving forward, like I'm just saying that the end of a series can either be defined by a movie or it could be brought on. Or what I'm saying is a series can either be defined by, like, ended by their movie or defined by their movie, so they move on with it. But it's a very scary thing when they come out with a movie on a show like Black Clover because it's has a certain amount of episodes. Usually in something like this, you would see movies like that, and it's not that I'm scared. Well, I am scared. I'm scared that my favorite show of all time may not come back after this movie. But there was also a few other things that a few other movies that I haven't seen that I know about, like Seven Deadly Sins. They ended with a movie, but I thought I had to discuss that a little bit before I moved on. Anyway, so they enter the dungeon, and Luck loses his shit and ditches them pretty much immediately. I do have to say, Luck is probably the most insane good guy character I've ever seen. Like, he's not on the level of, like, Klaus from Umbrella Academy, but he's up there. He's definitely up there. Anyway, he goes and fights the Smoky Bastard, which I'm not putting a freaking photo of him. I'm not saying his name. I don't care about his name, and certainly don't care about him. He is literally as useless as the freaking Riddler himself. All right, he is a stupid side character that nobody cares about. Like, he just angers me because, like, he could be such a great character, but he's such a little pussy. He just dips all the freaking time. It's so freaking hard to understand. Like, he doesn't stick the fight out. He completely freaking dips when things start getting tough. Oh, the only time I've ever seen him actually stick a fight out was the time when he tried to invade the neighboring village of the Clover Kingdom. Like the one on the border with the Diamond Kingdom. I can't remember the village right now. I'll probably look it up and put it in the video. But the only time you ever see this man actually stick out a fight is there, you know? You see him do it in the dungeon too, but he's not really doing it, you know? Like the entire time he's completely covered in this smoky cloud. So in other words, he's hiding like a bitch. He's hiding from a kid with no magic, a girl who can't use her magic, and a psychopath wannabe who's practically wasted through half of his fighting you already. Alright? Like, just take all of this into account. Like, he's hiding in a bunch of mist from a boy with no magic, a girl who can't use her own, and a boy who's sort of insane but is practically burned through half his magic already trying to fight you. And you're hiding in a freaking cloud like a little pussy. Like, I don't. Like, you could have just, face to face, but no, he didn't want to do that. I get that that's kind of his power is smoke, so he can cover himself in smoke and make it like appear like he's not there or whatever. But also cover the entire room in smoke so he can tell where magic is. But like, it's such a pussy way of fighting. Like, you see Austin, then you see this asshole, and you're just like, again, I'm not putting a photo of him. I'm not putting anything. You know what? I'll put a freaking picture of the Riddler before I will put a picture of him. He does not earn my respect. He's a bitch. Anyway, moving on. The Golden Dawn show up to save both Asta and Noelle. And Asta, sees who saves them pretty much. It's Windblade, so we all know who saves them. It's Yuno. Yuno saves them, in payback for protecting Yuno's life, during Chain Magic Repchi. If you've seen my other videos, I've talked about that. Now, before I move on, can I just say, Asta kind of saved his life twice. If you really think about it, like, he saved his life when he was a kid. I'll put a picture of that up, obviously. And he saved his life when Chain Magic Repchi showed up. So I feel like that's two saves down, right? Am I wrong? But it doesn't last long because I'm just gonna skip over the Smoky Bastard's entrance. That's what his name now is, Smoky Bastard. I'll even put it up on the screen, Smoky Bastard. We get past the Smoky Bastard and it goes into the Golden Dawn reaching the treasure hall. They were excited. They made a bet with Asta that they would make it to the treasure hall before him, and that's exactly what they did. So they were very excited. And as soon as they pretty much hit the ground, and start talking for a minute. Mimosa gets hit with a spell from a diamond mage named Mars. Now, if you've seen the show, you know Mars is a special case. Um, his magic originally is mineral magic. Now, if you don't know what mineral magic is, it's pretty self-explanatory, but I'll explain it anyway. Mineral magic is the ability to control minerals. It's not that hard to figure out. Anyway, moving on from there, he also has a separate magical attribute or ability. Now, if you don't know much about animes or magic or any of that usual stuff, I've done my fair bit of research into magic and occultic stuff because, it's good for reference. Um, there are certain types of magic, and I've seen it both in animes and in real life TV shows. The incantations, spell circles, and like raw power, which you see more raw power in uh, Black Clover than you'll see like incantations, spell circles. And if you're wondering what about enchantments, enchantments fall under the line of spell circles because you have to write them down. Because I don't want anybody to misunderstand me here. Enchantments are part of this category list that I created, from what I've seen and what I've read. So they fall usually under the raw power design. Anyway, but most people, like in most shows, will have at least one single attribute, unless you're like the main character and you like got some special thing that allows you to have more. Usually, a character has one attribute, which in Mineral's case it would be Earth, considering it was derived from an Earth attribute. So once you do Earth, you're not really allowed to go to other attributes. It's not like Naruto, where you can like maybe get another attribute later on, or eventually maybe have four. I'm pretty sure that was a KK Genkai. You're not allowed to switch attributes. So he's not really supposed to have fire magic, but he does. You'll see this when he uses flame recovery magic on himself. I gotta say, I do kind of understand where they're all going with it. Fire recovery magic is one of the most badass things I've ever thought about. Like if you think about it, there is a good way you could use fire and like recovery magic, and you've actually seen it in a multitude of episodes. For example, let's say the Phoenix. We all know what the Phoenix was capable of. Rise from the ashes. It's literally part of its entire freaking shtick. Um, and another one that I've seen, like in Fire Force, when that lady has that burning snake on her arm and she helps the main character, I can't remember his name, live. He has the Adola Burst. I will probably do one on that because I thought that was badass. Fire Force, awesome. Anyway, moving on. Anyway, so Mars himself is actually a pretty cool bad guy at start. I do like his progression from bad guy to like getting his ass kicked. Kind of helps him see who he wants to be. So, with that being said, that's all I really want to talk about. If you like the video, like, subscribe, leave a comment if you like, and talk to y'all later. Gary Donut, signing out.